All right, well, happy Monday, Central Georgia. I'm Meteorologist Ansley Parker, and it is the start to a brand new week, which also means the start to a whole lot of weather changes in our forecast. So we are going to take a look at the extended forecast like Alex Pry does every morning at 11 a.m. And we're just going to talk a little bit more about what we've seen so far this morning, because believe it or not, we've actually already had a really interesting forecast day, at least interesting to a forecaster, and we have a lot more changes ahead of us still. So a lot to talk about for the first time in a while, and you probably already know what I'm referring to, because when you look outside, things kind of look a little bit strange. We've got a lot of cloud cover across the area right now, across all four sky cams, but if you can notice, even while we're on this quad view, probably the best view would be here at the fairgrounds in Perry. The flags are blowing around, the water is blowing around as well. There is a really strong breeze out there also, and you may have even been out early enough this morning to see some rainfall. From time to time, we had a couple of light spotty showers, but then we had this line come through that dumped a lot of heavy rainfall in a really short amount of time. So we'll talk about all of what we saw this morning, but this is the view that we have across the area right now. Just a lot of cloud cover, and again, if you can kind of see it, we do have a little bit of a breeze out there as well. So this is the current temperature setup across most of the eastern half of the United States. Looks like we're in for a big change here. If you kind of look further towards the north, there is a lot of that deep purple color indicating temperatures that are in the teens up there, but a lot of that air is actually stretching down to us here in Georgia. Now you can kind of see it's really creeping into the corner of our state at the moment, but there's obviously a little bit of a temperature change afoot. We're seeing the temperatures drop throughout the day instead of climb. So up here in North Georgia, we're already sitting in the upper 40s, and we were already in the 60s early this morning. So we've dropped almost 10 to 15 degrees up there in the north. Here in Central Georgia, we're starting to find our way into the 50s. Now we've been kind of hanging out in the 50s for most of the morning. We similarly saw a temperature early this morning of right around the mid 60s for most spots. So we're also dropping, but we're doing it a little bit slower than up there in North Georgia. But we're going to keep doing it through the rest of the day today. You can kind of see in the corner of the screen, the blue is starting to creep its way towards us. So it won't be long before these temperatures are also sitting in the 40s, and through the rest of the day, again, only getting colder. So it's one of those weird backwards temperature days. The kind of unspoken thing that I'm talking about here is that we've had a cold front sweep across the area. It's got a lot of cloud cover sitting with us now, and we have colder air filtering in throughout the day. So as opposed to the temperatures climbing up to our high of the day, we saw our high early this morning, temperatures in the 60s. As we head towards the afternoon and towards the time frame that we would normally see our high temperature for the day, the temperatures are only going to climb into the upper 40s. So a colder afternoon is ahead of us here, and not only are the actual temperatures going to be getting colder, but I mentioned there's a strong breeze out there as well. So we are going to have a little bit of a wind chill this afternoon. The wind is going to be having things probably feel like the upper 30s as opposed to the upper 40s where we'll be sitting later today. And of course, on the sky cams, you saw that we had some cloud cover out there. We did actually have a couple of showers this morning. Luckily, the showers are moving out, and I think we'll just kind of be trying to get rid of the clouds for the rest of the day as well. So let's talk about all these different factors. I'll talk a little bit more about the winds right now just to kind of show you where we stand. And usually when this map is painted this color, it's usually a good indication that the winds are just consistently very strong. We have sustained winds right now that are 15 to 20 miles an hour. So we've just got a nice steady breeze out there, and then from time to time, these wind gusts, the numbers that you see here in yellow, are jumping over 25 miles an hour. In fact, I think today we could see wind gusts that are up to around 35 miles an hour. So really strong winds out there no matter where you are. We're seeing a lot of wind gusts right now in the mid 20s, but over in Upson County, there's one already at 30 miles an hour. Again, these are possible through the rest of the day today. This was a really, really strong cold front. So when you have a really strong cold front, it changes the pressure a lot, and that makes the wind speeds really, really strong with a front like that. So that's what it looks like in terms of winds. This is what it looks like in terms of the satellite and radar. You can kind of see where that initial cold front push came through early this morning. It brought that thin line of showers through our area, and lingering behind it, we just gonna have some remaining cloud cover. But you can see there will be an end to the cloud cover as well. I do think later this evening we will eventually see the sunshine. It may just take us a little bit of time to get there. We may not see it until the sun's actually going down, but I actually do think these clouds are going to clear our area at some point through today, and we will set up what is going to be a very quiet pattern heading into the long term. But We did have some rainfall early this morning. We got a lot of cloud cover out there right now, and the line of showers made it all the way through the entire area. In fact, I actually thought it may fizzle before it even got down to our southeastern counties, but it does look like everybody got at least a shower or two early this morning. Now, when this actually came over downtown Macon, it did put down a pretty impressive amount of rainfall in a short time, not necessarily totals wise, but we heard the rain coming down over the station. It was really heavy, it was really loud, and I was expecting this to be just a little bit lighter. So no, we didn't accumulate a lot of rainfall, but it did come down pretty heavy for just about a minute there, and then it was over. You can see how thin that line is. It happened really quickly, and then it was gone. So that was probably the case in a lot of places. It does look like we had some of the red color, so showing heavier rainfall totals further up towards the north. By the time it got to the southeast, fizzled out a little bit, but I'd imagine everybody probably had a moment where they were thinking, oh my gosh, it's pouring, and then the showers moved on. So now that that line has moved on, we really don't have to worry about rain for the rest of the day. Again, that's down out of our southeastern counties at the moment. We're left behind with maybe one or two really just brief sprinkles. I'd be surprised if that was even actually reaching the ground. We're just kind of stuck under this cloud cover until the rest of that can get out of our area. But in terms of actual rain chances for the day, we really shouldn't have to worry about that. Again, that little tiny shower up there in Hancock County, down in our southern counties, just kind of losing the rest of that initial line. And otherwise, it is pretty much quiet and smooth sailing. Now, I told you this did not really result in really heavy rainfall totals. The heaviest spots ended up probably seeing close to 1/4 of an inch of rain. But everybody else, this thing just rolled through so quickly that it didn't have the time to sit over specific spots for a long time and add on to the rainfall total. So pretty unimpressive rainfall totals across the board. It was nice to kind of have a little bit of a cozy morning with some rainfall, but it probably has not done much for our drought conditions. Now, luckily, this will not be our only chance to catch rain in the 7-day forecast. We do have another opportunity as we head towards the end of the week and next weekend. But overall, this was more about the cold front and the air that is filtering in than the actual rain that it brought to our region. So like I said, once that moves on, we will eventually have the, I kind of just said that in an accent, I didn't mean to. We will eventually have the chance to have all this cloud cover move out as we go throughout the rest of the day. And we will set up what is going to be a very quiet and very calm pattern, at least for the next couple of days. So as we head into Tuesday, again, a lot of that cloud cover filters out, and Tuesday is going to actually be a really beautiful day, completely quiet, completely dry. We've got no rain chances on the way for Tuesday, and then there's a pretty important holiday as we head towards the middle portion of the week. So a lot of interests are in what's going on Wednesday and what's going on Thursday. New Year's Eve is on Wednesday, and that dry pattern is going to stick with us into New Year's Eve as well. So we're completely dry for New Year's Eve. If you're worried about heading out, I know we have the buzzer drop over in Perry. If you're just generally celebrating New Year's Eve, if you're doing some sort of your own ball drop or anything that you need to be outdoors, basically, New Year's Eve is looking pretty much good to go in terms of rain chances. I don't really see this changing as we go through the next couple of days. So this is not one of those situations where you need to keep checking back just to make sure. I think we're pretty much in smooth sailing for New Year's Eve in terms of rain chances, and that carries us all the way into midnight. So if you have to be outdoors or you want to be outdoors to celebrate the holiday, it should be smooth sailing in terms of rain chances. Now, temperatures may be a little bit of a different story. As we head into the late night hours, I've forecasted the temperature that you see here for right around midnight. I do think we're going to be falling into the mid 30s by the time we get close to midnight. So as we're kind of leading up to that, we'll be somewhere in the low 40s, upper 30s. No matter what, that's going to have a little bit of a chill to it, especially when we don't have the sunshine, and especially when we're coming off a trend of days in the 70s. So you may not be used to temperatures like this. You may have kind of gotten out of practice for how it feels to be cold like that. So again, New Year's Eve is going to be good. It's going to be nice and clear. We don't have to worry about rain chances, but I would definitely make sure that your outfit has got a jacket factored in because it is going to be cold, and towards midnight we will drop into the mid 30s. So a quiet pattern for the next couple of days, but definitely a cool one. As we go throughout the rest of today, again, temperatures are falling. We saw the 60s early this morning, and then we are going to fall into the upper 40s by the time we would normally see the high of the day. A pretty much similar story as we head into Tuesday. 40s for the high. We're going to talk more about this overnight low, but tomorrow morning it's going to be really, really almost a bit shockingly cold. Again, I kind of want to emphasize that point just because it's been so warm for the last couple of days that you may forget what it has felt like to be in the low 20s. So we'll talk more about that overnight low here in a minute. But again, sunny skies for Tuesday, same type of thing as we head into Wednesday. A very cool start to the day, but notice that high temperature on Wednesday does creep up a little bit, and we're going to talk more about the gradual warming trend here in just a couple of minutes. So this is a look at the projected wind gusts as we go throughout the rest of the day. This is going to be an exceptionally breezy day. The wind gusts are going to get up to around 35 miles an hour, and it will be that way through almost the entire day today. But actually, we're going to stay a little bit breezy for the next couple of days. So not necessarily quite as bad as what you're seeing out there today, but even as we head into Tuesday, we'll still have a little bit of a breeze. So it won't necessarily be completely still air. It will add a little bit to how things feel outdoors. And that continues once again into Wednesday until these winds die down heading into Thursday. So a couple of days that are going to have a little bit of a breeze to them, which means really that we're just going to have a little bit of a wind chill out there. Definitely have one today. I am not going to lie. Normally I step outside to kind of feel what the actual temperature feels like, just so I can have a better idea and be better prepared when I step in front of the green screen. I went out there early this morning when the temperatures were still in the 60s, and I could already feel that the breeze was making things colder, so I didn't even go back out as we've gone into the afternoon, because I know heading into later today, like I said, those upper 40s are going to feel more like upper 30s. It's definitely going to be a chilly day today. There's no way around that. It's just going to feel cold. We have got wind gusts that are up to 35 miles an hour. That is really going to impact the temperature for the rest of the day. But luckily, I do think this is one of the coldest days on the 7-day. As we head into tomorrow morning, another day of really true cold. Now, we've been in a really warm pattern here, so you may not have your heat on, you may not have your pipes protected anymore, you may not have your cold weather practices in place. As we head into the overnight hours tonight, it is really important to go ahead and prepare your home, prepare your family, prepare your pets for a night that's going to be below freezing once again. So I had to actually remote turn on my heat later this afternoon because I knew that my heat was not on from the 70s that we had. I know that I need to drip my pipes tonight. We got to kind of get back into those practices. Tomorrow morning, the temperatures are going to be in the mid-20s, so definitely below freezing in terms of actual temperature, but remember, we do have a little bit of a wind chill. So tomorrow morning, it's actually going to feel like the low 20s and probably even upper teens. I think this may be even overshooting it just a touch. So a really, really, really cold start to Tuesday. If you're one of the folks that is still at work during this time frame as we head into the in-between part of, excuse me, oh my goodness, I almost got a little caught up in my throat there. If you're one of those folks that has to head out to work during this time, make sure you bundle up in the morning. Again, it's just something we haven't had to do in a while. So you make sure you have a jacket on you for tomorrow morning. If for some reason you have to send the kids out early, just be aware tomorrow is going to be really, really cold. Then as we head into the afternoon, actual temperatures are going to climb into the upper 40s, but we still have that wind chill out there. So the feels like numbers are still going to be down in the low 40s. Today and tomorrow are going to be kind of similar. I think we'll have more sunshine tomorrow, but it's still going to feel nice and cold. There's still going to be a presence of a breeze through tomorrow as well. Now the good news is we kind of steadily hit this warming trend as we go throughout the rest of the week. Obviously, it's still going to be cold to start Wednesday, but as we head into Wednesday afternoon, we're going to see high temperatures that jump up into the 50s. So not quite as bad as the 40s and closer to average for this time of year. That's overall going to be the trend as we head into the next couple of days. It's going to be a really cold start to the week here. We're going to clear the skies up, and then the temperatures are actually going to climb back towards average for this time of year. So yes, it's a very cold start to the week, but that's definitely going to change heading into the rest of the week. Also, those clear skies are eventually going to lend their way to some rain chances in the second half of the week. Like I mentioned, that was not our only chance to catch some rain this week. We will have another chance starting on Friday and lingering over into Saturday. So New Year's Day is still going to be clear. You don't have to worry about anything if you've got New Year's Day plans, but by Friday, we're going to start to see the cloudiness increase, and then by Friday night, probably Friday late night, you can see the timestamp here is really at 11 p.m. We'll start to see this low pressure system move up across the deep south, and that's going to bring us a chance at rain late Friday night, really probably early Saturday morning. So my hope here actually is that maybe we could swing this as an overnight event. Right now, it kind of trends generally in that late night Friday into early Saturday morning time frame, but these models do have this kind of lingering around through part of the day on Saturday. So plan on Saturday starting out a little bit messy and then eventually clearing up as we head into the late night. Luckily, as we head into Sunday, you do have one weekend day that looks a little bit better. Sunday should be dry, but we do have a rain chance right now that looks rather promising for late night Friday night into early Saturday morning. Now that's going to come with some changes in the temperatures as well, but let's talk about the rainfall totals from this event first. Now, What we saw today was really, really light. That was a very quick moving situation. As we head into the upcoming weekend, that next rain chance Friday and Saturday, it does look like we could have slightly better rainfall totals than what we saw today, but overall, unfortunately, and I'm not sure why we've had so many repeated events of just not being able to tack on good rainfall totals, but I think this is going to be another one of those. We just don't see this being the next big downpour in our area. So you'll likely see some rain again Friday night, early Saturday morning. How much will that actually put down? Probably not an overly impressive amount. This probably, again, won't do a whole lot for our drought conditions, but we'll still take what we can get. To give you some perspective, in the month of December, we're supposed to have around 4.5 inches of rainfall, and we have trended well below that once again throughout this entire month. So maybe January will be our month as we kick off 2026, and let's hope for a little bit of a less dry 2026. But nonetheless, we are going to have a rainfall chance. And like I said, it's not only going to be a rainfall chance, but it's also going to impact the temperatures that we have. So we have some really cool temperatures through the next 3 days. The midweek, so New Year's Eve, is kind of the turning point towards us making our way back towards average for this time of year. Average is in the corner of your screen. 59 degrees is the average high for this time of year. So as we go Thursday into Friday, we start to increase the cloud cover just a bit. We start to get the flow coming in from the southwest. As this low pressure system tracks across the deep south, we're going to see the temperatures climb back towards average for this time of year. So we'll be back in the low 60s for Thursday and for Friday. And that honestly probably won't feel that bad. I mean, it will still be cool, not the 70s that we saw last week, but it's going to be a lot closer to where we should be for this time of year. So, excuse me, I'm really having some trouble with my voice on this stream for whatever reason. As we head into the rest of the week, generally the conditions will be improving in terms of temperatures. I'm so sorry, I don't know what is going on with my voice. Just too much talking for today. But as we go into the rest of the week, again, temperatures are going to be improving. This early portion of the week is going to be the coldest, and then steadily we will get back to where we should be for this time of year. Now, the overnight lows are going to do the same kind of thing. 60 here is a little bit of an outlier. Obviously, we have that weird flipped temperature day. Today, we saw our high early this morning, so it's kind of the low. Just don't think about it too hard. As we head into Tuesday, that's when we'll start to see those really, really cold overnight lows. Temperatures will be in the mid-20s. A wind chill out there, having things feel more like the low 20s or upper teens. As we head again into Wednesday, that kind of turning point, notice by Thursday, we're already back in the 30s. Average low for this time of year should be right around 37, and we will creep back towards that as we head into the second half of the week. So we're generally going to make our way back to where we should be for this time of year. It's going to be a very frigid start to the week here, but as we head into the second half of the week, overall, things are just really going to start to improve. And that kind of carries us over into the weekend as well. Remember, we do have a rain chance coming our way as we head into Friday and into Saturday. So temperatures are going to be especially warm on those days, and then we will work our way back down to average for this time of year. So overall, this is a very mild start compared to how we started January last year. You may remember we did have a little bit of a chance to see some sleet last year around this time in January, and it was just kind of a totally different story than where we're sitting right now. So 7-day forecast kind of just reflects the same thing that I've just outlined for you here. Obviously, we had that rain chance early this morning. We'll clear up by this evening. We'll stay clear for Tuesday, for New Year's Eve, and for New Year's Day. As we head into Friday, that rain chance starts to come into play late night Friday and really early morning on Saturday. So plan for there to be a couple of showers during this time frame. I did promise that there was one day of the weekend where things were looking a little bit better. It does look like that rain chance will move on by the time we get into Sunday, and we've got better conditions on the way for Sunday. So if you're looking for one of the days to be your weekend day to get outdoors, Sunday probably your best opportunity. Also, like I mentioned, Saturday, because of the rain chances, temperatures are going to be up a little bit. Overnight low in the upper 40s, afternoon high in the mid 60s. So a little bit warmer here for Saturday. Then on the other end of Saturday, we work our way back towards average. So kind of in the long-term forecast, I think we're going to be hanging out right around average for this time of year. So a very cold start to the week that leads us into a more mild middle portion of the week. And then heading into the weekend, again, things stay mild and kind of where they should be for this time of year. So overall, it's kind of a straightforward 7-day forecast, though we do have a lot of changes here. We work our way back towards kind of an even place as we head into the rest of the week. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of perspective of what you're seeing outside right now. Again, a weird day today where the temperatures work backwards. It's going to be getting progressively colder. If you got some sort of jacket or sweater for Christmas that you've been waiting to wear, go ahead and bust it out for tomorrow. It's going to be a cold day tomorrow, and then we will be warmer as we head into the upcoming New Year. So hopefully that means good news for folks who are heading outside to celebrate the New Year. Of course, if there's any changes or anything, I will explain those tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. You can join me right here at the same time to talk once again about the extended forecast. But thank you so much for joining us this Monday morning, and we will see you right back here tomorrow.